Hello, everybody. It's your friendly digital technology librarian, Christy here. And since we are at the end of yet another week, I have yet another Film Rec Friday for everyone out there. Today's recommendations are all kind of inspired by the long Thanksgiving weekend we just got out of. And by that, I mean these are titles that are going to appeal to everybody in the family. So they work on a lot of levels. They are entertaining for both little ones and for adults. Um, I know a lot of times as an adult, you will want to be able to sit and watch with your child, and that's a really wonderful time, but one can only sit through so many episodes of Peppa Pig before getting bored out of your mind. So, these titles are all designed to appeal on a lot of different levels. That way, your child will be heavily entertained, but you're also going to be able to get some chuckles out of it. You'll find meaning in things that will potentially go over the heads of little ones. I think when you have films that do work like that, that's when you have something really special. Like you look at the early Toy Story movies. I know those were really wonderful because you could have that multi-level meaning going on. So anyway, the films that I tried to pick out, I hope will also be able to function on that same or a similar level to those. Um, as always, all of these recommendations are available totally for free to those of you who have a Milan-Berlin Library District card. And they are available on our 3 video services, which are, of course, CleveNet's Overdrive, Hoopla Digital, and Canopy. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get to all of those recommendations. Okay, we're going to go ahead and, as usual, get started with our CleveNet Overdrive picks. And the first of those is for the recent film adaptation of Paddington. Now, Paddington Bear is a character that's been around for decades and decades. I know I was very familiar with him when I was a child in the 80s. He's still popular today. And what's lovely is that this film adaptation is really, really, truly wonderfully done. I mean, at no point does this feel specifically like a kiddie film. Yes, of course, it is directed at younger people, but it works on so many levels. It is in part in certain parts genuinely funny, regardless of if you're 5 or if you're 50. It is genuinely sweet, regardless of your age. It is moving. It is sad in some spots, but not too sad. It's just overall a lovely, lovely story, and I think so, so well done. The acting is top notch. You've got really phenomenal actors like Hugh Bonneville from Downton Abbey, for those who follow that show. You've got Sally Hawkins. You've got Nicole Kidman. I mean, it really is chock full of these top-notch actors and voice actors. Ben Whishaw actually voices Paddington the Bear, and he's a phenomenal actor as well. I mean, it's just an excellent, excellent film, regardless of your age, and it really does work on all those different levels too. Totally entertaining if you're 4 or 5, but equally entertaining if you're 40 or 50. I cannot recommend this one enough. It is a fantastic family film, and it will definitely be one of those movies that you can watch over and over again in case you have a little one at home who likes to do that repeated watching thing. So if you are in the market for something sweet, something really, really charming, Paddington is an excellent place to start. My second recommendation from Overdrive is a bit of a nostalgic one. Every year you'll see the old school Rankin Bass stop motion animation features air on TV. Titles like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. These are little made-for-TV specials that we've seen over and over again that are just as wonderful from year to year to year. I know I saw them as a child. I know children are watching them today, and one of them is now actually available through Overdrive, and that is Jack Frost. Now, Jack Frost is the story of a winter spirit who falls in love with a human girl who happens to already be engaged to a wonderful knight. Um, Jack Frost decides that he is going to go on a quest to become human so he can court this girl. But in the interim, a King Kubla Kraus, I can't remember his name. Yes, King Kubla Kraus kidnaps this girl, and Jack must go on a quest to save her at this point. Um, it's, a predictable story, but that's not what makes it so magical. It's the animation, it's the style, it is the fact that it's a nostalgia pick that people from generations before have been watching. It is truly a wonderfully charming tale that, you know, we can watch year after year after year and not get bored with it. So Jack Frost, also a recommendation, will work on multiple levels and will work for both little ones and not so little ones. Moving on to our Hoopla digital recommendations, I'm going to start those off with yet another somewhat nostalgic pick, and that is for the 1982 special, The Snowman. Now, this short animated feature is absolutely gorgeous, and even if you can't recall it at the moment, once you see it, you will definitely recognize the animation. It's one of those sort of iconic pictures that you see at the holiday times. It follows a really quite simple story of a young boy who wakes up on a snowy morning, decides to build a snowman, and then that snowman, at the stroke of midnight, magically comes to life. This is not Frosty the Snowman, however. This is, in a lot of ways, something much, much more special. This snowman at midnight then takes the young boy on this journey throughout the young boy's village, all the way back to the snowman's hometown of the North Pole. Once they reach the North Pole, they end up being the guests of honor at this very, very special party featuring yet another special guest. But it really is an extraordinarily lovely, lovely little feature. And what is perhaps the most wonderful thing about it is its use of the song "Walking in the Air." And it's one of those songs that, again, is very familiar once you hear it, but it's this sort of lilting, ethereal tune that plays during the little boy and the snowman's flight through town. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. It really, really is an absolutely gorgeous melody. And it's one of those songs that will 100% stick with you. You will be humming it for ages and ages afterward. And again, one of those titles in general that appeals to all ages. It functions on a simple journey story for a little one, but as for adults, it also works on levels of like the beauty of the art, the beauty of the music. It's just a sort of perfect short feature. It's less than a half an hour, so it definitely won't take up too much time, and is just in general an excellent pick for a film. So Hoopla's The Snowman, definitely check that out if you haven't already. My second recommendation from Hoopla Digital is for this lovely, bright, colorful animated feature called All Dogs Go to Heaven, which is a Don Bluth studio film. Don Bluth also did like An American Tail, Five Goes West, a lot of really huge pictures that were very, very popular and very well done. And this is no different. All Dogs Go to Heaven is lovely. It follows primarily this one dog, I believe his name is Charlie, who is on a quest for vengeance. He ends up, however, on his quest, the guardian of a little orphaned girl. And of course, because this is an animated feature and it's what happens in these things, he can communicate with the little girl despite being a dog. And they have this really wonderful, lovely bond together. And she, of course, meets his little cadre of dog friends. And it's just this beautiful, happy little family. And It's got moments that will move you, that will make you laugh. It has moments that will absolutely make you tear up. And if it doesn't, what's wrong with you? And it works again on so many different age levels. Little kids will like it, adults will like it. It just has one of those stories that is just very, very appealing. It's quite simple, it's not overwhelmingly complex, but it still will stay with you. It will still move you. It will still be one of those go to cartoons that you find yourself able to watch multiple times. So, if you are looking for something like that, that's moving, that's lovely, that's very heart centric, All Dogs Go to Heaven, marvelous, marvelous pick. All right, my last two recommendations are, of course, from our Canopy service, and the first of those is for another animated feature. This one is called Tales of the Night. Now, Tales of the Night was originally a French language film, but what's lovely on Canopy is that it is available both in the original French as well as in an English dub. Now, this animated feature is a little bit different from everything I've recommended prior, in that it is a story told entirely in silhouette. So you have kind of this puppetry feel to it, which may sound a little bit artsy fartsy, but for whatever reason, absolutely is not. It's so beautiful. These crisp lines that that these figures have, are so striking against the backgrounds of this feature. And all of the stories, all of the tales of the night, feature tales from different countries of origin. So you have all kinds of vibes going on at the same time. Some stories take place in Tibet, some in medieval Europe. You've got one that's in an Aztec kingdom. And, these stories work, for younger people. I would say from almost any age, certainly up to adults. You will, as an adult, be 100% invested in the storylines themselves, but also just in the technical work that goes on, um, because it really is such a striking animation style. I mean, it's so unusual and yet still so appealing. It really is. It is such a wonderful, wonderful feature. Strongly recommended. Tales of the Night. Please do check it out. You will not regret it. Now, my final recommendation for this week is for yet another animated feature, and this one is called Nocturna. Now, Nocturna is a little bit more traditional, in the sense that it's not silhouettes, but that's where its sort of traditional nature ends. It is visually stunning. It is an absolutely gorgeous film. And it is a story that definitely will engage little ones and adults. It follows the tale of a young boy, a young orphan who ends up traveling to this sort of alternate night world. And along the way, he meets all of these fascinating and phenomenally designed characters. Um, it's just one of those pictures that really sucks you in right away. And I don't know if it's, the sort of muted color scheme or the animation style or the voice acting. I can't pinpoint it, but I was so engaged so very, very quickly. And I think that engagement works on all age levels as well. I don't think it's something that you have to be an adult to feel. Um, and this young boy, one of his big things is overcoming fear. And I think that's a story that will appeal to all ages as well, whether you're dealing with it on a more simple level. He has a fear of the night and of the dark. Or if you're dealing with it as an adult in a more esoteric level, it's just something that will definitely reach out and move you. So in this story, you've got the young boy, you have this sort of guide who brings him throughout this alternate night world. You have all of these fascinating characters and creatures that he meets in that night world. And it all just comes together to result in this sort of magical animated experience. And I picked this one mainly because I've not seen anything that exciting in a while. I really did love Nocturna, and I definitely strongly recommend it to everyone, regardless of whether you're looking for something that appeals to a wide age range. Just check it out; it's marvelous. So with that, I have gone through my entire list this week of film recs. If you have a movie that you think would appeal to all ages that you think we should be watching, please comment below and recommend it to us. If you have any recommendations for future themes for me, please recommend those as well. I've got some really exciting plans for the next couple weeks with the holidays coming up, so I do hope you will continue to tune in. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend and finds something enjoyable to watch. And with that, I will see you next week. Bye.